Right, I've typed in here God name origin. Hang on a minute, I'm just going to go on to the actual page. Here you go. So we got God name origin and original spelling and pronunciation. I'm going to ask chat with Copilot. Otherwise you're sifting through all the rubbish forever and never getting to the information you need. Let's have a look. Right, God name origin. Original spelling and pronunciation. The name most often associated with the God of the Hebrew people is Yahweh, known as the Tetragrammaton, 4 Hebrew consonants, Yod, He, W, He. Its original pronunciation has been lost to time, largely because ancient Hebrew was written without vowels, and the name was considered too sacred to speak aloud. Now, Hebrew without vowels. What else has got without vowels? Egyptian hieroglyphics. Over time, scholars and religious traditions attempted to reconstruct the pronunciation. Most widely accepted scholarly guess is Yahweh, based on early Christian writings and Greek transcripts. However, during the Middle Ages, Jewish scribes added the vowel points of Adonai, meaning Lord, to Yahweh, as a clue to say Adonai instead of pronouncing the divine name. This hybrid led to the form Jehovah, not using a Y, using a J, which became common in Christian usage, especially in the English translations of the Bible. As for the meaning, Yahweh is often interpreted as he who causes to become, or he who brings into existence wherever exists, a creator. Sorry, I'm a big cough. Got a cough, otherwise I choked to death. So reflecting God's role as the eternal creator, sustainer. The English word God, on the other hand, comes from Old English God, derived from the Proto-Germanic Gudda. Yeah, right, I got something to point out. That D is not pronounced as a hard D. Only the Spanish do that. And that's a later thing. Okay, just bear that in mind. And possibly from a Proto-Indo-European root meaning that which is invoked or libation. It was adopted by the early Germanic Christians as a translation of the Latin Deus. It's fascinating how a single concept, divine being, can carry such a tapestry of linguistic culture. I'm asking the question. Is the shortening to God from, I put derived, from the Lango Bardi name Godan? Question mark? Asking the question. Right. There you go. That's a really insightful question and touches on the fascinating crossroads of linguistics, mythology and cultural transition. The name Godan is indeed the Langobardic form of the Germanic god Wodanus, more commonly known in Norse mythology as Odin. The Langobards, a Germanic tribe, preserved his name in their original myth recorded in the Origiogentis Langobardorum, where Godan and his wife Freya play a central role in the naming of the tribe Langobardie, Longbeards. However, the English word God is not directly derived from Godin. Instead, it comes from the Proto-Germanic word Gauta, but it's not pronounced Gouda, which likely stems from the Proto-Indian European root Guto, meaning that which is invoked or libation. This root is more likely abstract from ritualistic offering to a deity, blah 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 blah, and all that rubbish. Right. Now, so while Godin and God share a common Germanic linguistic ancestry, God is not a shortening or direct derivation of Godin. They are more like distant cousins than parent and child. Now, the funny thing is that I asked this question to the same thing a week ago, and it said that God is a shortening of Godin. Yeah. Now it's saying it's related to God. It's like a cousin. And his wife's called Freya. And Freya. Godin and Freya. Yeah. And who is Odin's wife? Freya. Yeah. Freya, sister of Frey. I'm not Godfrey. I'm a Jeff. See? You're worshipping a Viking god.
At this point, we must point out that our Jeff does not proclaim to be either God or Jesus, as he actually knows how to pronounce both of those two words properly. However, the rest of you do not. Our Jeff does, however, carry the spiritual 2241 of a powerful creator and the Trinity of Eli, Samuel, and the olive tree according to the Hebrew, Greek and King James I concordances, and is a living member of the Elohim and a morning star. He does not volunteer himself as your savior though, as he has more important stuff to get on with, like training fledgling angels, recruited from the high priestesses and priests, those with numerological numbers that he can tweak.